Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, let us learn what if we combine all transformation into one graph. So these are the steps of transformation that you need to follow. Okay, so the first one, you need to do the shifting of horizontally first. Either the graph will go to the right or the graph will go to the left. Next, you can do reflect or stretch or compress, and this one can do either way. And lastly, we need to do the shift up and down. So why do we follow all of this rule here? Because we are following the BODMAS. So shifting of horizontally left and right is in bracket. Reflect and stretch is either divide or multiplication. And lastly, shifting up and down here is addition or subtraction. So since we are following BODMAS, therefore we need to maintain the position of the steps here. So first of all, when you get a question, check whether you have shifting left or right first. So we need to do this step first. That first, we need to check whether do you have plus C or minus C inside. So let me write the summary here. If you have plus C, you know the graph will go to the left. And if you have minus C, you know the graph will go to the right. Next, you need to check whether the graph have reflect or not. So what will happen is, what you need to check is whether you have minus outside of your function or you have minus inside of your function. So if it is minus outside, meaning that y is directly affected. So from a positive y, now you are going to negative y. So meaning that this is reflecting about your x-axis. How about this one? You have minus inside the function directly connected towards your x. So from a positive x, now you have a negative x. Therefore, this is reflecting about y-axis. Then about stretch or compress, this is a different story. So it can be vertically or it can be horizontally. If this is vertically, meaning that you are multiplying c outside of your function. So when c is more than 1, this is stretch. When c is between 0 and 1, this is compress. What you want to do is you want to take the y coordinate, you want to multiply by c. So how about horizontally? Horizontally stretch or compress, this will happen when you have c multiply inside of your function. When c is multiplied inside of your function, meaning that something will happen towards your x-axis, so this is stretch or compress horizontally. So let's see the value of c when c is more than 1 and when c is between 0 and 1. So this is the opposite of this one. So when c is more than 1, just now is stretch, but now this is compress. And then when c is between 0 and 1, this is stretch. So what you want to do actually is you want to multiply the x coordinate by 1 over c. So let's see this question here. This is combination of all transformation. We want to check whether this is stretch or compress horizontally first. Do you have plus or minus c inside? Yes, you have this. You have plus 2 inside, meaning that this is your first transformation, which is you want to shift left, 2. Next, let's check, do you have reflection? Do you have minus outside or minus multiplied inside your x? Yes, you have minus outside here, meaning that if you have minus outside, this will be reflected towards your x-axis. So this is your second transformation. So reflect about x-axis. Next, let's see whether you have stretch or compress. Do you have multiply c outside or multiply c inside? No, you don't have any of them, meaning that for this question, you don't have stretch or compress. Next, let's check, do you have shifting up and down vertically? meaning that we have plus or minus outside the function. Yes, you have this minus 1, meaning that this is your third transformation, which is shift down, comma, 1. So this is all your action step that you will need to take. First transformation, second transformation, and the third transformation. So now let us graph according to the steps that we already did just now. First of all, don't forget to graph your basic graph, because this is our reference for all the transformation. So the reference graph is y equal to absolute value of x. So let us graph it. Don't forget to fill in the points. So the points needed are 0, 0, and then here is 1, 1, here is minus 1, 1. So now let's do the first transformation, which is shift left by 2. So just bring this pink graph here towards your left, which is by 2 units. So this is the graph. Now let's fill in the coordinate. So from 0, 0, when you go to the left by 2 units, this will be minus 2, 0. And then 1, 1, when you go to the left by 2 units, this will be minus 1, 1. And finally, minus 1, 1, when you go to the left by 2 units, this is minus 3, 1. We're finished doing the second transformation. So we are finished doing the first transformation here. So the graph here is y equal to modulus x plus 2. So only one transformation has been done here. Now let's see the next one, which is reflect about x-axis. So this is concerning about this transformation here. So from this graph, you know you need to reflect about your x-axis. So this is the graph. So now you want to reflect about your x-axis. So the graph is going down. Since you have mirror here, the graph will go down like this. So let's draw the new graph. And then let's put the coordinate. So minus 2, 0 is still the same, minus 2, 0. And then minus 3, 1, when you go down, your x coordinate doesn't change. This is still minus 3, but your y coordinate now will be a negative number. Next, this point here, minus 1, 1. So x coordinate doesn't change, only the y coordinate will change. So this is minus 1, minus 1. So you have finished graphing the second transformation, which is now y equal to negative modulus x plus 2. So now let's go straight away to the third transformation. We want to shift down, okay? So you want to do this transformation now. So from this graph, it is as if you hold this graph by your mouse and then just drag it down by 1 unit, okay? So just draw the same shape, but now it's going down. So what will happen to this point here? Minus 2, 0, when you go down, this is minus 2, minus 1. Minus 3, minus 1, when you go down by 1 unit, this is minus 3, minus 2. And finally, minus 1, when you go down by 1 unit, this is minus 1, minus 2. Therefore, this is your final graph. If you need to read the domain is x is all real number, because you can see that the graph is exists everywhere. So if you want to see the range is minus infinity until finally you stop here at minus 1. So this is minus infinity, comma, minus 1 included. So these are the range and domain of your graph. You can check whether this graph is correct or not. For example, let's take this point here, minus 2, minus 1. We can try to fill in when x is minus 2 here. When x is minus 2 plus 2 is 0. So minus 0 is 0, 0 minus 1 is minus 1. So this point is correct, minus 2, minus 1. Let's check another one, minus 1, minus 2. When x is minus 1, Minus 1 plus 2 is 1. Modulus 1 is 1. Minus 1 minus 1 is minus 2. So you got this point here. So you are confident that this graph is a correct graph. Now let's see this question here. Sketch by using transformation techniques, starting from the basic graph and show at least 2 points. So this is the question now. So you can see that the basic graph is y equal to square root of x. Later on, we'll draw the basic graph here. And then let's find all of the transformation happening here. So first of all, find, do you have any shift right or left? So you see you have minus 1 inside. So you know that this is the first transformation, which is shift right, comma 1. So we're finished doing the first transformation here. Second, let's check, do you have any reflection? Do you have minus inside or minus outside? You can see here that you have minus outside, meaning that this is the second transformation. Since this is minus outside, you know this is a reflection about your x-axis. Next, do you have stretch or compressed? Do you have something multiplied inside your x or something multiplied outside? Yes, we have something multiplied outside here. 2 is multiplied outside, meaning that this is your third transformation, which is depending on your c. So now our c is equal to 2. So this is more than 1. So since it's happening outside, meaning that this is stretch vertically by factor c. By factor. So later on, we want to take our y coordinate. We want to multiply by 2. This is what we will do. And then finally, let's check, do you have any shift up or down? Yes, you have plus 3 outside. So meaning that that is your fourth transformation, which is shift up by 3 units. So now let's start by the basic graph here. So you have 0, 0 and 1, 1. Now let's go to the first transformation, which is shifting right by 1 unit. So let's just take the graph and shift to the right. So we coordinate now from 0, 0 now is 1, 0. And from 1, 1 now this is 2, 1. Now let's go to the second transformation, reflect about x-axis. So from this graph here, let's reflect here. Okay, this is as your mirror. So your graph will go down. This is going downwards. And then let's put in the coordinate. So 1, 0 will stay here, 1, 0. And then from 2, 1, now you have changed to 2 minus 1. Next, let's do the third transformation, which is stretch vertically by factor 2. So the shape will then change. When you stretch it, it is almost the same shape, but your y coordinate will change. So y coordinate, you need to multiply by 2. So for 1, 0, so 0 multiply 2, this is still 1, 0. And then from this y coordinate, just multiply it by 2. So this is 2 minus 2. So finally, your final transformation number 4 is shift up by 3 units. Okay, so from this graph here, you need to shift it up by 3 units. So from 1, 0, now this will become 1, 2, 3. This will become 1, 3. So be careful, you start here and it goes down. So this point here is 1, 3. And then how about your 2 minus 2? You'll go up by 3 units. So 1, 2, 3. This will becomes 2, 1. So this is your final graph. You can give the domain. So your domain x will start from here. Okay, 1 until infinity because this goes on. So 1 included until infinity, and your range y. So this is from minus infinity and will go up until this point 3 here. So your range is from minus infinity until 3 included. So to make sure this is the right point, let us retake this point here. Let's try to fill in 1 at your x here. So 1 minus 1 is 0. Square root of 0 is 0. 0 times this one here, minus 2 is 0. So plus 3, this is 3. So this point here is correct. Let's check another point here when x is equal to 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. 1 times minus 2 is minus 2. Minus 2 plus 3 is equal to 1. So alhamdulillah, we got the correct answer. So this is all for this chapter, transformation of graph. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.